Hey, how you doing? I guess you noticed I'm not down in my studio in Orlando. I'm actually down under. I'm in New Zealand. And this over my shoulder here is a traditional Māori commune. And we're visiting this commune for two reasons. The first reason is to check out the Māori art. And the second reason is to get the material we need for this video. We're going to be making a Māori Paua lizard bowl. And if you don't know what that is, then you want to watch this episode because it's fantastic. Hey Woodies, Woodpops here. In this episode of Expressions in Wood, I'm going to be making the Māori Paua lizard bowl. I'm going to be using New Zealand Paua, which is the Maori word for abalone. And this particular species of abalone is only found in New Zealand, and that's why we're here. So without further ado, we're going to jump right in here and we're going to make this Māori Paua lizard bowl. But if you haven't subscribed yet, you need to do so now. Ring that little bell so you'll be notified when my next video comes out. Okay? Without further ado, let's jump right in here. Let's make a Māori Paua lizard bowl. What do you say? All right, all right, all right. Let's go. What do you think? Too much?
we've finished preparing our bowl over on the lathe. I've got it all turned and prepared. I left a mortise in the bottom so I can put it back on, because once we do our inlay work, we're going to have to put it on to sand it and polish it. So I left this on, and later on we'll decide what we're going to do with the bottom. And then on the inside, we're going to put the Māori lizard. And the majority of the lizard is going to be inlaid with New Zealand abalone, which the Māori call Paua, P-A-U-A. I've got two lizards right here. I researched the internet, and I was looking for Māori art and lizards, and this is what my search revealed. So I printed these out. This is the actual size I'm going to be using. And we're going to trace the outline of one of these, make some modifications, put our own spin on it, and I'll show you how I do that. But my preferred method is to print my design on these sheets. They're kind of a real fine, light plastic, and you peel the back off and they stick. You can put them through your printer, and when you put them through the printer, this is what you get. You get your design right here, just like this, and then you cut out. You don't have to cut it around the edges. You leave plenty of room around it. You peel off the back, and you stick it right on the bottom of the bowl. And I'll show you how I do that. Without further ado, let's get started on our Māori Paua lizard bowl. Boy, that's a mouthful. Okay, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut out our lizard. And as you can see, I don't need to cut close. Just like this. If you recall, we've already put a coat of shellac on the whole bowl. We're going to put our lizard on. Got a kind of centering. You don't want to smudge the ink that's on there. So we'll put this on and kind of burnish him in. Now, if you're an artist, you can draw your own lizard or whatever. Gecko, bullfrog, butterfly, hummingbird, whatever you're good at. Okay, there we go. This is my Presto NSK. Need to get an outline bit. Let's see, nice sharp bit. I set my compressor at 35 psi, and that runs my tool at about 320,000 RPMs. And we're just gonna outline this puppy. And you want to remember that we don't want to carve the whole thing out. We want to leave some wood as relief. So just keep that in mind as you're cutting. Just take your time. You don't need to force anything. And when you're making these cuts, you want to keep your tool as straight up and down as you can. You don't want to go in at an angle. You don't want a dovetail shape to your lizard. You want a nice straight walls, perpendicular to the bottom and perpendicular to the top. I'm going to outline his tail, and then I'm going to cut those arrowhead shapes there in the center. I'm going to cut those out. I'm going to inlay those with the Paua, and the rest of the inside of the tail, I'm just going to leave the wood. The outside of the tail, that line that I'm cutting now, I'm going to inlay that with black jet.
As you can see, I've already carved out some of those arrowhead shapes there in the bottom of his tail, and I'm working on the others. This is a dovetail bit. It's really good for hogging out the material. Okay, I think you can see how this is going to play out. I'm not going to show you the whole carving of the lizard in this video because I have a separate video that covers the carving of the Paua lizard in detail. You want to go to that video and check it out to see how the carving goes the rest of the way. For now, we're going to jump right ahead and we're going to start on the lizard inlay. Okay? This is the black jet, and we're going to outline the tail with this. My preferred technique is to spread the material out on the face of the bowl around where I want the inlay, and then move it in with a little brush to make sure I don't get any black material inside the arrowhead shapes. Okay, we're going to jump ahead here because the video that I have on the crushed stone inlay of the lizard goes into quite a bit of detail on how I put the Paua and the marina in the lizard. You want to be sure and check that out. Let's jump ahead now. As you can see, I'm getting ready to add the CA glue to finalize this, and of course it's Star Bond. When you get ready to buy your Star Bond, please use the code at checkout woodpops, WOODPOPS, to get a 10% discount. They'll also give me a 10% commission, which helps support my channel. I would really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Our Māori Paua lizard is all inlaid and sanded, and we're ready to go to the next phase, which is inlaying the rim. We're going to jump into that right now. Okay, we've got our lizard completely finished, as you can see here in the center. He's all looking good. And now we're going to do this rim. We're going to put a nice inlay on this rim. And since we're talking about abalone and Paua, I'm going to do this outside rim in blue. Since this is supposed to be water, we're going to use a little blue, a little green, a little clear. We're going to use some of this Paua. That'll look nice in the water. And once again, thanks to our folks over at Easy Inlay. That's where this came from. And we're going to sprinkle a little marina, also from the folks at Easy Inlay, to give it a highlight here and there. So this is fun when you mix these things to try to get an effect. What we're going to do is we're going to take some white. This is inlay nuggets. This is what this white is. We're going to use these as a base because we don't want to use this expensive stuff in this thick, deep inlay. Use the cheap, inexpensive nuggets to build up a layer, to lock it in to the wood, and then we'll put our nice colors on top. Make sense? I make my inlays this deep because I want to make sure that if the bowl moves during this life cycle, that the inlay rim doesn't crack or come out. So that's why I make my groove deep. This base filler is relatively inexpensive. What do you think of that music? Let me know what you think of the music. Sometimes that can be the hardest part, is finding music to put in these. Or if you don't like music, tell me not to put music in them. Okay, that looks good.
Once again, we're going to jump ahead because, as before, we have a complete video in detail on how I inlay the rim. And if I must say, it's a good one. You got to catch that. So we're going to jump ahead here. Of course, we're going to be using a lot of Starbond super thin inlaying this rim. Don't forget, when you buy your Starbond, use the code name woodpops to get your discount. Hey, check this out. We have a visitor. It looks like we have a project mascot here in the shop. Take a look. Holy crap, that guy can jump.
Okay, our mineral inlay on our Māori Paua lizard bowl, the rim, has dried. We're ready to sand it. We're going to sand it and polish it and put a finish on it. Probably it's going to be a lacquer finish, and we'll be all done. Almost there. Hang in there. You want to see how it turns out. You're going to be surprised at what the bottom looks like. Don't leave. Okay, Woodies, I hope you liked that episode from Down Under. That was a great one, wasn't it? A little bit different, but that's okay. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the picture right there. And don't forget to ring the little bell, ding, 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 so you'll be notified of my next video. And I've got a video picked out just for you right over there. Be sure and watch it. Thanks for watching.